You're at the gate after June 1st. Boarding just started, people are lining up with coffees, neck pillows, little airport snacks, acting like this is just another flight. You think you're fine too. Your carry-on made it through security, nobody stopped you at TSA, no alarms, no questions. Then the gate agent looks directly at your suitcase and says, "Can you step over here for a second?" Now the line slows down behind you. She rolls out the metal sizer. Your suitcase drops halfway in, then sticks. One wheel hangs up on the edge. You push a little. She says it has to slide in on its own. And suddenly every sound around you gets louder. Boarding announcements, roller bags hitting the floor, someone behind you sighing because now you're holding up the line. You unzip the front pocket, hoping pressure releases. It doesn't. The agent reaches for a gate check tag. That's when panic starts making people do stupid things in public. Now your headphones are on the floor, your hoodie's hanging out of the bag, your laptop is halfway inside a gray plastic bin while strangers pretend not to stare. And the worst part is, this suitcase worked for years. Same airline, same bag, same trip. But starting June 1st, airports are enforcing carry-on rules differently. And travelers all over the country are finding out too late that the rules they ignored before suddenly matter. Not because the rules changed overnight, because enforcement did. And this is exactly why experienced travelers are getting caught off guard. They packed based on habit, while airlines started operating based on pressure. Full flights, faster boarding, less overhead space, more gate checks, more attention on bags that look oversized, overweight, or difficult. If you fly even once this year, subscribe right now, because the people getting blindsided at airports are usually the ones who thought nothing had changed. The carry-on size trap. You've probably got a carry-on right now that survived years of flights. Same suitcase, same wheels, same airline. You know exactly how to pack it. The problem is, starting June 1st, airports are looking at that bag differently than they did even 6 months ago. What changed isn't the size limit printed on the website, it's how aggressively it's being enforced when flights are completely full. A bag that used to slide through with a little push now gets rejected. That expandable zipper you opened just a little? Problem. That hard shell corner sticking out near the wheel? Problem. Even the handle at the top now matters because agents are measuring the entire outside shape, not the part you wish counted. And here's where travelers get trapped. Most people test their suitcase empty. Airports test it packed under pressure. That's why so many passengers are getting stopped at the gate instead of check-in. Airlines don't want oversized bags slowing boarding down once overhead bins start filling. So now the sizer becomes the final decision maker. Not your travel history, not the fact that the bag worked before. And arguing doesn't help because you're no longer debating a person. You're standing there negotiating with a metal frame while a boarding line watches your suitcase lose. Smart travelers are adjusting before they leave home. Measure your bag fully packed, including wheels and handles. Leave space instead of packing right to the edge. Soft shell bags usually buy you more flexibility than rigid cases. And if your suitcase barely fits at home, assume it's already too big for a crowded June flight. Because size isn't even the rule catching the most travelers off guard right now. It's the one airlines barely enforced before June 1st. The weight rule everyone ignored. For years, carry-on weight limits felt optional. You tossed in an extra hoodie, another pair of shoes, maybe a laptop charger the size of a brick, and nobody cared. Most travelers treated those tiny numbers on the airline website like legal fine print, nobody actually enforced. That's changing fast after June 1st, and the part catching people off guard is where it's happening. Some airports now have scales built directly into self-check-in kiosks and bag drop counters. You think you're printing a boarding pass, but the system is quietly weighing your carry-on at the same time. Before you even reach TSA, your bag is already flagged. Other airlines wait until the gate, which is somehow worse. You're sitting there relaxed, scrolling your phone, when the agent suddenly calls your name. Your carry-on goes onto the scale in front of everyone nearby. Then comes that short little beep travelers are starting to hate. Overweight. Now your sneakers are pulling out of your suitcase in public while people in the boarding line pretend not to watch. And airlines are targeting heavy bags more aggressively because overloaded bins slow boarding, increase gate checks, and create problems crews don't want to deal with anymore on packed flights. The smartest travelers now pack like they're moving through checkpoints, not just going on vacation. Use a portable luggage scale before you leave home. Wear your heaviest jacket and shoes onto the plane instead of stuffing them into the bag. Move dense items like chargers, batteries, or camera gear into your personal item, where limits are usually less strict. And frequent flyers use what's called the 3 times rule. If you won't use it at least 3 times on the trip, it probably doesn't deserve space in your carry-on. And never pack directly to the airline's maximum weight. Leave margin, because airport scales don't care that your bag was close enough. If you've ever had a carry-on wait at the gate, comment "they got me" below. A lot more travelers are about to experience that for the first time after June 1st. But even passengers following the weight rules are still getting stopped over something much smaller.
The personal item crackdown. Backpack, purse, duty-free bag, pillow, hoodie over your arm, maybe a coffee balanced in one hand while dragging a carry-on with the other. For years, travelers got away with building these little portable pileups because gate agents usually focused on getting the plane out on time, not counting every item hanging off your shoulder. But after June 1st, overcrowded flights are changing the mood at the gate. Airlines are packing planes tighter, overhead bins are filling faster, and staff are under more pressure to keep boarding moving. That means personal items are getting a lot more attention, especially bags that clearly won't fit under the seat, but passengers still try to pass off as small. And this is where people accidentally turn themselves into a problem. The traveler with too many loose items becomes the one slowing the line down. Now the agent is asking you to combine bags while passengers stack up behind you waiting to board. Your tote doesn't fit under the seat, your backpack is bulging, your jacket keeps slipping onto the floor while you try reorganizing your life next to the boarding scanner. You instantly become that passenger. The smartest travelers are simplifying instead of maximizing. One compact, soft-sided personal item usually works better than stiff mini suitcases because it compresses under tight seats. Keep your essentials there too. Medication, passport, charger, headphones, wallet, one change of clothes. Think of the underseat bag as your emergency kit, not extra storage. And here's a trick experienced travelers use quietly. Pack a lightweight foldable tote inside your personal item and don't pull it out until after you pass the gate. That small adjustment alone avoids a surprising amount of attention. Because once boarding starts, gate agents aren't looking for fashion or convenience anymore. They're looking for anything that slows the cabin down. And wait until you hear which completely normal item TSA still considers a liquid. The liquids confusion trap. You fly out of a major airport with brand new scanners. Nobody tells you to remove your laptop. Your liquids stay inside the bag. You walk through security in 5 minutes and start thinking the old TSA liquid rules finally relaxed. That assumption is wrecking trips after June 1st. Because the scanners changed at some airports, the rules didn't. A lot of newer terminals now use CT scanners that can see inside bags more clearly, which means officers sometimes let liquids and electronics stay packed, but travelers are making the mistake of treating that smoother experience like a nationwide standard when it absolutely isn't. Then comes the return flight. Different airport, different scanners, different line. Suddenly, your carry-on gets pulled aside because of something you completely forgot was considered a liquid. Peanut butter, face cream, hair paste, yogurt, a half-used cosmetic jar. TSA doesn't care that it feels solid to you. If it spreads, squeezes, smears, or sprays, there's a good chance it still falls under liquid restrictions. And the embarrassment hits differently when the item looks harmless. One airport waves your bag through like nothing's wrong. Another opens it in front of everyone over a skincare product you bought at duty-free and forgot to recheck. Now strangers are watching while an officer digs through your clothes searching for a tiny container that triggered the scanner. Experienced travelers are adjusting by packing for the strictest airport, not the easiest one. Keep liquids together in one clear pouch near the top of your bag, so you're not unpacking half your suitcase at security. More frequent flyers are switching to solid toiletries too. Shampoo bars, solid deodorant, cleansing sticks, because they avoid the whole liquid debate entirely. And never assume every airport upgraded their scanners just because your departure airport did. Subscribe before your next trip because airports are changing faster than most travelers realize, and most people only learn these rules after something expensive gets tossed in a trash bin. But the fastest growing problem at airports right now isn't liquids, it's batteries and gadgets. The battery and gadget crackdown. You pack your power bank the same way you always have. Toss it into a side pocket, zip the bag, head to the airport.
Completely normal routine. Except now your suitcase gets flagged, pulled aside, and opened because one of the fastest growing concerns in air travel isn't clothing or toiletries anymore. It's lithium batteries. Starting June 1st, travelers are finding out the hard way that some everyday gadgets are now treated like fire risks. And the problem is, most people still don't realize how many items quietly fall into that category. Power banks, spare camera batteries, smart luggage, cordless curling irons, rechargeable razors, even some electric toothbrushes. Airlines are paying closer attention because overheating lithium batteries inside cargo holds are one of the few things crews can't easily reach once a flight is in the air. That's why power banks in checked bags are becoming a major trigger point. A lot of passengers still pack them there without thinking twice. Then security pulls the suitcase, and confusion starts immediately because many travelers don't even know what a watt-hour rating is, let alone whether their battery exceeds airline limits. Some power banks are completely fine. Others cross into restricted territory. The problem is, most people never check until an airport forces them to. And here's something catching travelers off guard now. Devices need to power on. In 2026, a dead laptop doesn't just look inconvenient. To security, it can look suspicious. If an officer asks you to turn on your device and nothing happens, your trip can suddenly slow down in ways most passengers never expect. Even smart luggage is creating problems now. A lot of travelers bought those suitcases with built-in charging ports thinking they were future-proof. But if the battery can't be removed easily, some airlines won't allow the bag into the cargo hold at all. Experienced travelers are adapting quietly. Keep spare batteries in your cabin bag only. Charge devices before leaving for the airport. Learn your battery's watt-hour rating before security asks you about it. If you use smart luggage, make sure the battery removes quickly. And cordless hot tools should always travel protected so they can't accidentally switch on inside the bag. What's the weirdest thing TSA has ever stopped you for? Because some of these newer battery rules are catching even frequent flyers off guard. And even if your bag survives security, there's still one final fight waiting at the gate. Overhead bin warfare. Your bag fits, the weight is fine, your liquids are organized, your batteries are packed correctly. You followed every rule airlines suddenly care about after June 1st. And you still lose your carry-on. Because now you're dealing with the part of flying nobody can fully control anymore. Overhead bin space. Flights are fuller than they used to be. Airlines are selling more basic economy tickets, more priority boarding upgrades, more early access perks. That means by the time later boarding groups walk onto the plane, entire sections of overhead bins are already packed shut with roller bags turned sideways like someone claimed territory early. And this is where travelers get blindsided. You did everything right, but your boarding group is late. You walk down the aisle scanning for space while people avoid eye contact because everyone knows the situation already. Flight attendants are rushing passengers to sit down. The line behind you stops moving. Then comes the phrase travelers hate hearing now. We'll need to check your bag. Your suitcase didn't break the rules, it just lost the battle. That's why experienced travelers are treating boarding position like part of their packing strategy now. If overhead space matters, don't wander away from the gate during boarding. Be standing nearby before your group gets called, because a 5-minute delay can completely change your chances on crowded routes. And smart travelers stopped trusting overhead bins with essentials a long time ago. Medication, passports, chargers, headphones, wallets, one change of clothes, all of that belongs under the seat in front of you because gate check roulette is becoming more common on packed flights. People traveling together are adjusting too. Instead of fighting for 2 overhead spots, many frequent flyers now share one carry-on above and keep the rest compact underneath. Less competition, faster boarding, fewer problems. Because in 2016, overhead bin space isn't guaranteed anymore. It's survival territory. Starting June 1st, smooth travel is going to come down to a few small decisions most passengers still aren't thinking about until it's too late. Measure your carry-on fully packed, including the wheels and handles, not just the fabric shell shown in the product photos online. Stop packing expandable bags right to the edge, because once a suitcase bulges, airport sizers stop being forgiving. Weigh your carry-on before leaving home instead of discovering the number at the gate in front of a crowd.
Keep your personal item truly under-seat-sized, not close enough. That extra tote bag, oversized backpack, or loose shopping bag might have worked last year. On packed flights now, it draws attention immediately. Pack liquids like every airport still follows the strictest version of TSA screening because some do. Keep them organized near the top of your bag so security isn't digging through your clothes over toothpaste and face cream. Move every spare lithium battery and power bank into your cabin bag, where airlines expect them to be. Charge your devices before heading to the airport because a dead laptop creates questions travelers never expect until they're standing at a checkpoint trying to explain it. And stop thinking of overhead bins as guaranteed space. Think of them like limited parking in a crowded city. The earlier prepared travelers arrive, the fewer options everyone else has left. That's the real shift happening after June 1st. Travelers avoiding airport chaos this summer aren't lucky. They're prepared for the way airlines actually operate now, instead of the way passengers wish they still did. Because airlines are counting on most people not reading the fine print. Now, you know what they're finally enforcing. If this video saved you from even one airport nightmare, one date check, one confiscated item, one repack in front of a boarding line, imagine what you'll avoid once you actually start traveling with the system instead of against it. Because that's what's changing after June 1st. The travelers moving through airports smoothly right now aren't necessarily flying more. They're not all elite status members. Most of them just understand the pressure points airlines and airports stopped ignoring. They know which bags attract attention, which items trigger inspections, and which mistakes instantly turn a normal trip into a stressful one. And the gap between prepared travelers and everybody else is getting wider fast. So subscribe before your next flight, because the people getting through airports without delays, surprise fees, or public repacking moments aren't smarter than everyone else. They just learned the rules before the airport forced them to. And I want to hear from you. What's the one airport or airline rule you think has gotten completely out of control lately? Carry-on size checks, overhead bin fights, battery restrictions, liquid rules that change from airport to airport? Because some of these newer crackdowns are honestly catching even experienced travelers by surprise.